Good morning. Happy Growth and Grace Day. This morning we're going to talk about something that's hitting a little close to home lately about the importance of going first. And while it is hugely beneficial and while I absolutely believe in it, I'm going to be real with the fact that it's not always my favorite thing to do. Rarely is it my favorite thing to do, actually. It sounds super fun when you think about going first. Oh my gosh, I get to go first. I love this. What a privilege. And, it's fun to be first in line. It's fun to get to try something new first. It's fun to go first sometimes. And sometimes it's really, really hard. So we're going to talk about the hard kind of going first because the easy approach to that is great and fun, and definitely do it when you get the chance. The harder approach to that is when things are not going great and maybe you're in relationship with someone and there's tension there, or there's, one or both of you are upset, or there's some hurt feelings, or there's no communication going on, whatever it is. And now it's up to us to go first. So that can be a bit of a challenge. That can be a bit of a frustration when you feel like, why am I going first? I'm not the one that should go first. They're the ones that need to apologize. Like, it's their fault that this whole thing is going on. Whatever the story is that you're telling yourself, it doesn't matter who started it. It doesn't matter who, created the scenario that you're in right now. Ultimately, you get to take the responsibility of going first, even when it doesn't feel like it's being received, even when it doesn't feel like the other person is there with you right now. You still get to go first. So the reason this is like a hot topic for me right now is, I've got a few things going on in my life where it was up to me to apologize. And even though I feel like I'm the one that was wronged, I feel like I was the one that got hurt, why am I apologizing? But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Multiple people were involved, right? So it was me and this other person. And I don't know what their side of the story was. It was one of those no communication options. So I don't know what they were going through or what their emotions were or what was happening, but I was hurt. I felt hurt because of it. So it's up to me not only to forgive them, even if forgiveness wasn't asked, because it wasn't, and it's up to me to apologize for my part in it, because when two people are involved, whatever you're involved in, you have a part in. So whether it's an active, you recognize what you did to hurt the other person, or whether it's this, I don't know exactly what I did, but I know that I played a part in creating the whole scenario we're in right now, you get to apologize for your part. It doesn't mean taking responsibility for what they did. That's different. It means owning your part and being responsible for your part and apologizing for anything that you did. So that was a side tangent about apologies and forgiveness. But I'm just going to adjust this, see if I can do that a little bit. But as far as going first, so this is really top of mind too, because I just had lunch with some girlfriends yesterday. And so there were 6 of us, and all 5 of the other ladies are married. A few of them have been married for 20 plus years. And one of the ladies is very new to marriage, and there's a lot of things not going how she thought it was going to go in marriage. So she's having a whole bunch of stuff come up, and just a lot of wow, this is super not the relationship I thought that I was in. This isn't the guy that I thought that I married. This isn't what I thought marriage was going to look like. Really big things, not just, can you believe he hangs the toilet paper the wrong way? Big things. Although have that conversation too. But she was getting all of this wisdom from these ladies, and such consistent wisdom was, even though it feels like he's not in it with you right now, even though it feels like he's not willing to make changes right now, even though it feels like he's not contributing to the marriage right now, ultimately it's up to you to go first. Ultimately it's up to you to, reach out and make the first move and love him even when he doesn't feel lovable. Love him even when he doesn't feel like he's a man that you can love. Like, love him anyway. Go first anyway. Build him up anyway. And one of the ladies was saying, and it stuck out to me because it was such a brilliant thing. And take this and apply this. You can apply this outside of marriage too. But the specific context of the conversation was around marriage. And she was saying, it's up to us to be king builders. And oh my gosh, I just loved that image. Like, it's up to us to build up the kings in our lives. So whether that's your husband, your boyfriend, your sons, your nephews, like whoever the men in our life, it's up to us. And we have so much more power than we give ourselves credit for to build up the kings in our life. And so she was sharing, a recent thing that she had done was she sort of, she messed up. She's human. And she really was finding herself in a spot where some of the things that she'd said in her vows on her wedding day were, she was like, I realized, not in a malicious way, but I realized that I was sort of out of alignment with some of the things that I had said to my husband face to face in our vows on our wedding day. So she said, and they've been married for 17 years or something, they've been married for a while. And so she said, one of the things that I've done before is, I've apologized before and I've asked for forgiveness before, but she said she just recently felt to do this in a new way. So she took her husband out. She created this experience where she took him out, and it was a lovely evening and a lovely dinner and everything. And she said, I didn't just apologize. She said, I acknowledged it and I owned it and I did apologize and asked for forgiveness. But she said, I actually shifted this approach more into making it a declaration of here's what you can expect from me moving forward. And she said his response to it was, he received it, but he wasn't blown away or really touched by it in the moment. But she said it's been many weeks since then, and he is actually now he can see that it has changed. He's had a chance now to experience that she actually has shifted her behavior in that arena. So now he's more on board with it. And so that was her example of that's where I went first. It was super uncomfortable. It was super vulnerable. It was kind of disappointing at the time because it didn't have the initial response of instant gratification, but it was effective. And so the beauty of going first and the importance of going first is to either get the ball rolling or keep the ball rolling if it's already there, but to know that you're doing what you can do to contribute to the health of whatever relationship it is that you're in. And I get it. I know there's going to be people watching who you've experienced very unhealthy, abusive relationships. I'm not talking about those. I'm not talking about trying to stay in an abusive relationship. That's not what I'm saying. So take from this what you will. But when you have the opportunity to create new health in a relationship, to breathe new life into a relationship, this is your opportunity to do that. And it takes someone to go first. And oftentimes I look back at situations I've been in, or I'm listening to all these ladies talking yesterday about marriage, oftentimes it gets to be us that gets to go first. And we've maybe all heard the expression, leaders go first. But they do. Leaders lead. So they go first. They're leading by example. So even when it's tough, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels why am I doing this again? Why? I've already had this conversation. Try having it in a different way. My friend did, creating an experience to apologize, yes, but to really declare what shift he could expect to see from her moving forward. Try it in a new way. They'd had that conversation before. She'd apologized for that before. But now it was a new thing. And it created an opportunity for her to step into a new way of being and a new, approach to that arena. Win-win, right? Anyway, that's the importance of going first. It really creates new opportunities for both of you to step into a fresh space and start something healthy or continue something healthy or add health into whatever relationship you're in. So, yes, a lot of the context of this was marriage, and it absolutely is effective in marriage, and it's effective in other arenas of your life too. So, take the leadership position, go first, set the example, and know that oftentimes, oh, I'm about to say this and I'm not excited about this part, but it's true. So I'm just going to tell you, oftentimes it takes us going first many times before we get to see the results of it. So don't think like, I went first 10 years ago and they still haven't responded. You get to go first again and again and again and create the movement and create the momentum, and it's going to change you. It is. It's going to change you in a beautiful way. It's going to create new strength in you, new courage in you, and that ripple effect is super powerful. So, with that, I'm going to leave it right there for this week. The power of going first, the importance of going first. We'll see you next week, every Thursday, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, right here for Growth and Grace. Until then, have a great day.